Welcome to another edition of Ask Isaiah. I'm Isaiah Rose. Thank you for logging into my YouTube page. I'm with a frequent collaborator of mine, Frank Teah. Frank,
What's good, Isaiah?
we spoke in the previous episode in regards to the MVP candidacy of both LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's a two-man race right now, especially with both heading into the final stages of the regular season, heading into the playoffs. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Bucks yesterday, 113-103, in a primetime matchup of both, in which for LeBron, this was a statement game considering the fact that a lot of the season, many considered his play more so deferring to Anthony Davis in some respects, although anybody who watched the Lakers for an extended period of time this season understands that for the Lakers to be at their apex, LeBron has to play the way he played last night. And for LeBron to put up 38 points, for LeBron to completely just attack the Bucks in the fashion that he did, what were your thoughts on his performance and more so the Lakers against a premier team like the Bucks defensively?
So Isaiah, I think last night was a really good game. I think definitely the fans that the game and viewers got their money's worth and got them watching the worth. It was wide to wide. It was good. Giannis started off fast with 10 points and looked like here we go again. It looked like LA wouldn't be competitive because the first game in Milwaukee, although the score wasn't too far off, the Lakers were never really in that game per se. Milwaukee controlled it from start to finish. So LeBron had a pedestrian first quarter. Giannis is playing really well. AD also was pretty empty for much of the first half. Second quarter, LeBron gets some life. He gets some good finishes in the lane. He gets the dunk over Brook. And whoa, he wakes up. So he ends the half at 14 points. Third quarter on, it was all him. He really took a challenge of attacking Giannis on the offensive end and also guarding him, forcing him some turnovers. And for the most part, Giannis didn't shoot too well when guarded by LeBron. So LeBron controlled the game on both ends. When LA was kind of struggling and LA was struggling to find baskets because the first half LA shot deployable from three. I think they were there at one point they were like 1 of 14. So you had some struggles like not just AD but the Lakers other guys as well didn't play good. So LeBron definitely like got them going and started them both by playmaking and scoring. And once they started to roll, they found a good rhythm and that lasted into the fourth quarter. LeBron had a strong fourth quarter, but AD woke up in the fourth for sure and ended with numbers that looked better than the game he actually had. So I think it was a strong statement. I still think Giannis is the front runner for MVP, like kind of by far. But if LeBron is going to play like this down the stretch, especially against the really good teams, and Milwaukee goes on a slide, then we're like, whoa, the narrative shifts because it looks like whoa, the year 17, you gotta give this man more credit. So.
Now, you spoke about LeBron taking on the onus defensively against Giannis. You didn't really
Yep.
see that in the first matchup in
No.
Milwaukee. But last night, while guarding LeBron guarded Giannis for 8 possessions, and Giannis was 2 of 8 in the shots
Yep.
he actually took. He was 1 of 5 from three, only scored 7 points. And I think more so than anything, we spoke about it last night during the game, just the way that both LeBron and AD attacked Giannis on the offensive end really burnt him out.
Yeah.
In a lot of those stretches, especially in the second and third quarter, where
Yeah.
he didn't necessarily have the type of energy he had in the first, they
Yeah.
really tired him out. I think that played into how the Lakers were able to exploit the Bucks for long stretches. And you
Yep.
mentioned as well LeBron's third quarter in which he really turned it on.
Yeah.
And I have a theory in regards to Anthony Davis and how, while he is playing exceptional, for the Lakers to be what they are, LeBron is always the one that has to be the best player
Yeah.
by a significant margin. He has the ball in his hands, and he's still able to be elite because he's such a great playmaker, one of the greatest of all time. But you saw last night, even with Davis struggling for 3 quarters, in which he started the game 8 for 20, really not efficient in terms of him shooting from the outside. Some of his shots were a little short. The Lakers still didn't miss a beat because of how dominant LeBron was. And I think those role players you speak about, while they were struggling early, they feed off of his energy,
For
and I think
sure.
the entire team does. A couple of days ago, when a reporter asked LeBron if the regular season MVP actually motivates him, he said that was never really his motivation. His motivation was to be the best player of all time, and that drove him. And in the process of pursuing that, he got 4 league MVPs. But
Yeah.
I say that to say, when they went to Anthony Davis and asked him about LeBron's candidacy, although he would be a bit biased, he actually opened up about how the team struggles with LeBron off the floor. And you saw that a bit yesterday.
Yeah.
Milwaukee did make a game of it. They got it to
Yep.
within 6,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
LeBron came back into the game, and we saw there was a bit of back and forth with the Bucks and Lakers in terms of scoring. It was a seesaw affair a bit, but they never relinquished it once LeBron got back into the
Yep.
game.
It was safe for sure. Yeah, I think everything you said is spot on. Really enough, we typically don't see teams this good this far this season struggle without one player on the floor. It's the case where we've seen guys who have 48, 50 wins. They can sit their best player and they still kind of blow teams out. So it is weird that a team who's expected to win 65 or so games really struggles to find off as one guy off the floor, especially when you have two guys in the arguably in the top 5 or definitely in the top 5. So it's just a little weird. And the Lakers' lack of a playmaker, a second playmaker, is really hurts them because when LeBron goes to the back, goes to the bench, they can't find offense at all. When LeBron was in the game in the third, they pulled away, 13-point lead. He sits down, the lead shrinks, and now it's a 6-point game. It's an 8-point game, right? Milwaukee finds life on offense. They start scoring, all right? So it's a different ball game. He comes back in the game. He gets AD some easy baskets, and give AD some credit. AD turned it up definitely in the fourth late, but a lot of that was with LeBron back on the floor, and LeBron initiating the offense. So LeBron, I remember in the third quarter, he got a signature. He got a really in the first half when the Lakers had come back from being down early. He got a really good pass to JaVale McGee, kind of got him an easy basket. So like you said, all the guys do feed off LeBron energy. They didn't shoot the ball at all, but I think he's the engine. Wherever he goes, he's always the engine, and his ability to both score and play makes him one of the most potent threats in NBA history. So yeah, I do think he's selling. He's trying to oversell the fact that he doesn't care about the MVP. I think he does care. Now maybe it doesn't drive him, but I think he's like if you ask if a friend was to ask him about MVPs, he'll probably admit that he feels like he should have more than he should. I think so per se. He's earned 4. Maybe you could argue there's a 5th one somewhere. Perhaps in the '06 season or so. But I don't think he has 6, 7 like some have said that he believes. But every year I think he goes in thinking that I'm the most valuable player in this league. Regardless of what happens. Like when you combine regular season and playoffs, no one carries the weight that I do, and no one is as good for as long as I am. So yeah, the MVP is something different that he thinks about, and I think he believes that helps stakes his claim to the GOAT title or amongst the GOAT titles. So
It's interesting you say that because Brian Windhorst uh, actually just put out a piece in which
hmm
he says LeBron believes he deserves 6 to 7 league MVPs,
yeah,
and he believes he should have won the Finals MVP in 2015. Now
yeah,
we've spoken at length about how dominant LeBron was in 2015.
yeah,
He was the best player on the floor by far, but his
yeah,
team lost.
yeah,
And there's only been one occasion in league history in which a player
yeah,
actually got Finals MVP in a loss, and that
yep,
was Jerry West.
yep,
So LeBron, to your point, understands his value, especially to multiple franchises over
yep,
extended periods of time. You see the drop off that those franchises have once he leaves.
yeah,
Um, it's interesting you bring up these next couple of games versus the elite teams because this would be considered the toughest stretch for the Lakers over
yeah,
the next couple of games. They defeated the Sixers, the Bucks. They play the Clippers, the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Jazz twice over the next 10 days.
yeah,
So that's an opportunity for him to make a real solid MVP case to end
yeah.
the season, especially with some of those teams in which he's lost to
hmm
throughout this season. So that's an opportunity to get some give back in that regard. Uh,
Definitely.
in terms of how the Lakers uh, competed against a Bucks team who is top tier defensively, over the last couple of weeks they've taken a step back. But for me, a lot is gonna be measured by how they're able to score on the perimeter outside of LeBron. They just signed Dion Waiters, who would be considered a bit of a bit of an X factor to some
Hmm.
degree on a winning team. He struggles on teams that don't necessarily have the best expectations, but
Yeah,
we've seen the best out of him in good situations like Oklahoma
yeah.
City. So on a team like this where the structure is set and he knows this is a bit of his last chance, how do you think he can uh, contribute to this team?
Dion is a talented ball player. We speak about him like not being so well on not good teams, but a few years back, like actually a long time ago, when the Cavs made a late playoff push before LeBron got there, it was games where Kyrie sat out and Dion was kind of carrying them a little bit. Like, whoa, I mean, this is getting scary. So ultimately, we know the Cavs missed the playoffs, but he looked really good down the stretch, like really, really good. So Dion is someone who they could definitely leave. He's a really good one-on-one player. He's instant offense. He's a scorer, and he can also play make for others, right? So I think that was a pretty good pickup. We have to see what he still has left. Not that he's old, but he hasn't been playing in as of late. But if he can be good for them, that would be good because Dion has some talent to him. There's murmurs about them still going out to get J.R. Smith, right? Which could add to their shooting because we say all the time, Danny Green is seen as someone who's a good shooter, but when he's off, he's really off, right? Think about some of the best shooters in the league, like a Kyle Korver, and they could be struggling, but you kind of still fear the ability to shoot. When Danny's missing, Danny's really missing. So J.R. Smith is a guy who's also instant offense, who's turned it up, who's been extremely valuable to LeBron over the course of his career, especially during specifically during the Cleveland time. So if they could find a way to add to rotation, J.R. was once touted as a serviceable defender, as a good defender. I think that'd be another guy who could probably help them. Tomorrow's game against the Clippers will show a lot though. It'll show a whole lot because the Clippers have been on a roll as of late. They've been beating like really good teams by a lot of points. So we'll see how that looks. They're close to full strength now. This is what they look. They got the big additions with Jackson and Morris. They're kind of figuring out what their player rotation looks like. So let's see how LA fares against them. I will say that I don't think LA could come out and start the game still against the Clippers the way they started last night and still hope to win. So if they're gonna win, both AD and LeBron have to come out pretty strong, and the other guys have to play good as well.
Now, that was a great segue to the Clippers. Obviously, Friday's game is a prequel. This
No.
game, specifically being that it's the third installment of the four-game series between the two teams that uh, basically take stake in the Staples Center right now.
Mm.
The Clippers have the most talent in the league. They've been able
Yep.
to acquire the most talent, and by all accounts, when fully healthy, many consider them the best team. But
Hmm.
for what they have had to deal with in terms of injuries and just load management, the Lakers have been able to create some separation. But the way that the Lakers have played the Clippers in the first two games, it brings cause to pause in regards to who's the best team in Los Angeles. I
Hmm.
think tomorrow's game is a big statement game for the Lakers, more so than the Clippers. But to your
Yep.
point, the Clippers are finally starting to reach their apex at the right time. They've won six in a row. They've defeated teams like the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Sixers, and the Rockets in the statement game last Thursday. That was outrageous in terms of how they just completely negated a team in Houston that was on the run. They have won 10 out of 12. They were completely dominated with this emphasis on small ball lineups that we spoke about prior. So to see them dominate on the road in that fashion, it just lends itself to a great game on Sunday. I think to your point about the aggression, while Davis had good games in both Christmas and the first game of the season, the Lakers didn't have that punch because LeBron wasn't as aggressive as we saw yesterday. If he comes
Yeah.
out, even if the numbers don't mirror 38 points, if the action is just infectious and him just being aggressive, attacking Kawhi, attacking Paul George, whoever the matchup is, being in the paint and putting pressure on the Clippers in a way that they have to really gauge. They can't really prepare for what he's gonna do. Then the Lakers would be in a good state. If LeBron comes out passive and looks to, you know, set up Kuzma a little bit too much or goes in with the premeditated notion to pass, then the Lakers will be in a world of trouble.
Yeah. For sure, I definitely agree. I'm looking forward to it. I hope he comes out like he came out against Milwaukee. I don't see why he shouldn't. The Bucks are a top tier defensive team. Kawhi is the best defender in the league, but we all know that when LeBron's aggressive and he's trying to score, that very few guys can contain him. So we hope that he's having a similar game. So we can see a good game. We hope that LA is able to show that LA is still our city. We're here too. I mean, don't write us off. I know it's 2-0 now, but when it's said and done, this is we can beat these guys or we can compete with them.
See, I think though, there are people out there that still want the Lake, even though those two games have happened, people are more reserved and counting the Lakers out. They want to give them that puncher's chance or give them the leg up on the Clippers in that regard. So I feel like even if the last game of the season, which is really a rescheduling in April, if the Lakers come out and dominate this game or even win not necessarily a blowout, but by a sizable margin, similar to what we saw Friday, then that will bring legitimacy to the team. I think there's still some question marks out there in regards to what they can be. We spoke in regards to the Laker front line. You mentioned JaVale McGee, who's been playing very solid over the last couple of games. But Dwight, he's had some moments where he's fallen off. He had to maintain the same aggressiveness from when he first got there. We mentioned Danny Green. We mentioned the inconsistency with Kuzma at times. If LeBron and this Laker team come out and put forth a valid showing tomorrow, even if I want to say regardless of a win or loss, but it has to be like a back and forth matchup to where the Lakers stand up, then I think they'll add more credence to their championship aspirations.
Sure. I agree for sure.
I just want to more so thank you for your time and everything like that. In regards to predictions for tomorrow, what do you think in terms of score?
I'm gonna go Lakers by 7. Right. I'm gonna go 113-106. I'm gonna go LeBron 33, 7 and 8. Go AD with about 28 and 12 boards. Kawhi will have another good game. I do think Paul George will struggle. Lou will and Trez will be big for the Clippers, and I think we'll see a good one. But I think the Lakers have it in the head that we got to show up against them, right? So I think Caldwell Pope will probably have a strong showing. As one of those other guys, I think we'll see a good one, right? I think they're not to lock in, and if they don't, then I'll probably tell us that they probably can't hang with these guys. So.
Well, we'll have to tune in to see how your prediction will hold on. You got 7. I'm going with the Clippers by 5. I think that what we've seen over the last couple of games from the Clippers as they've reached this point in the season, they understand that they have to close the season relatively strong. I think they don't necessarily care about seeding at this point. They understand that the Lakers have it by a sizable margin, but for them to start to round into shape at the right time. You mentioned Paul struggling. I don't necessarily feel like his role right now is to be a secondary scorer, or at least that's how he's kind of flowed into this season. I think a lot of the scoring from a second option standpoint will rely on Lou and Montrez. But I think for Paul, he's become more of a playmaker and primary defender. And he's still a shooter, but the prolific side of his scoring isn't necessarily there. So we'll have to see how he matches up in this upcoming game. But I think that, to your point, I don't think he's going to be focusing on scoring per se. But I think as a team, though, I think the Clippers will find a way to win just to get this statement win out of the way. And once they do that, then they'll coast for the rest of the season just to prove a point. So we'll have to see how that goes. You got the Lakers by 7. I got the Clippers by 5. We'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for tuning in for another deep conversation between me and Frank. We'll have much more throughout this season just to break down, not only for this matchup coming up, we'll have a recap for you guys, but also the playoff runs for seeding and much more. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, Isaiah, for sure.
I'm Isaiah Rose. This is Frank Teah. We'll be back with more.
Definitely.